The following program is brought to you by PodcastOne Sportsnet.
This episode of the Steve Austin Show is sponsored in part by BetOnline.ag. The baseball season is in the home stretch and the action is heating up. Head to BetOnline.ag to place your bets and take advantage of the best bonuses in the business. Use promo code PodcastOne to receive a 50% sign-up bonus today. BetOnline.ag, your online sportsbook experts.
The following program is a PodcastOne.com production. From Hollywood, California, by way of the Broken Skull Ranch, this is the Steve Austin Show.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Now, here's Steve Austin.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Steve Austin Show. I am coming to you from the mean streets of Los Angeles, California today. I am not on the mean streets of Los Angeles, California. I am sitting on my ass on my couch in my podcast room at the BSR 2.0, and to the left of me is Callie, my black lab. She is 1 year and 6 months old, and then to her left is Moolah. Moolah's going to be 6 years old here pretty quick. She's in the prime of her life. You talk about a damn watchdog. Moolah is absolutely fierce. It's like a police siren going off whenever she sees somebody come on our property. Now, she'll charge somebody, but I don't think she'd ever bite anybody. But she puts on a hell of a show, and she's so damn loud. I mean, even I can hear it, and I'm halfway deaf. Now, Callie, on the other hand, she'll walk up to any stranger and start wagging her tail and licking them and stuff like that. So she ain't much on a watchdog, but nonetheless, this is my podcast team here today. And here today on the podcast, I got my old buddy coming on the show, AJ Kirsch. Drove down from the Bay Area, went down to Tucson where he did a fitness expo, and I guess there were some wrestling matches over there, and he emceed that. And he's here to talk about, his knee injury that he suffered. He's going to give you the 411 on that. Now, he kayfabed me on this, and he had to kayfabe the entire world on it until he got a clearance to talk about it, and you'll hear why. We're also going to spend some time talking about the WWE 2K19 video game that is about to drop as you listen to this podcast, probably a couple of days after that, so it's prime time to talk about that. But real interesting stories about how he got to be involved in this and an audition process and just talking about video game technology. AJ, I don't think they could have picked a better person to promote that damn game because he came over with about 5 pages of notes, and he hardly looked at them because he knew all the stuff by heart. Smart kid, communications major in college. He's emceeing and hosting all kinds of stuff up there in the Bay Area. Always had a gift for gab. He was on that last Tough Enough season we did over there, and where we filmed at? Out there in Simi Valley, California, at that big-ass, badass hummingbird ranch. I had my own crib out there on the golf course, and Hershey the Wonder Dog was still around back then. Those are the good old days. But, man, I had a blast talking to AJ, and he wasn't traveling solo. He was riding down the road with his buddy Brian, Sledge, the Metalhead Maniac. And Sledge is going to be on the show not this Thursday, but this coming Thursday after that, because PCO is part 2 coming up on this coming Thursday. So Sledge chips in a little bit here on the podcast as we sit there and shoot the breeze and talks about his wrestling career and some other things. And then we get back into that discussion with AJ and just talking about what he's doing now. Life after Tough Enough. Is there life after Tough Enough? Yes, there is, and he's doing a good job of finding it. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here on my ass fixing to get in my pickup truck and go get that damn thing washed. I just got a brand new Z71 3/4 ton Duramax a couple of months ago. I ain't even got 2,000 miles on it yet. Got a bunch of bugs on it. It's white and in color. Got a good deal on it. That thing pulls like nobody's business. I love that damn pickup truck. Now, of course, I still got my 03 Z71 with that gas motor. I'll never sell that truck. That's what I haul my buggies around. And tonight or this evening, I'm gonna put my Kawasaki Mule on a trailer, go down to the BLM. And because my wife is doing her Zumba class tonight, I'm going to take these dogs, my buddies, out for a little joyride on the BLM. If it was just left to me with my own devices, I'd probably going to jump on that Terex or that four-wheeler, that brute force, and ride the hell out of either one of those. But I'm babysitting, and I'm going to take my smooth as silk ride, my mule, and ride out there and maybe go about 30, 40 miles, just cruise along with these dogs. We just got here in Nevada. I'm trying to get settled in. Just got finished training on the weights. Got to make a little bit of a comeback here. I'm going to drink some margaritas tonight. I'll tell you what, I'm going to drop my margarita recipe on you guys. I'll probably drop it on you Thursday on the PCO show. I didn't invent this margarita recipe, but I did perfect it. I'll do a couple of tweaks on it tonight, and I'll drop it on Thursday. I'll put it on my social media account, too, Steve Austin BSR on Instagram. But anyway, I'm just sitting here on my ass flapping my gums. So let's spring into action, and let's get this thing moving. AJ Kirsch is my guest. It's a very entertaining podcast. AJ is really quick with his chops, has no problem at all flapping his gums and coming up with something to say. Well-thought individual, very articulate, very eloquent, and just a really good dude. And he's going to drop some 411 on us, and I enjoyed talking to him. But before we get to AJ, the sports betting scene is currently hotter than it's ever been. And the best part is that our friends at BetOnline have partnered with us here at PodcastOne Sportsnet to get you in on the action. You heard directly from Dave Mason at BetOnline right here on this show. These are our go-to guys who we trust for all things betting. Lines, odds, wagers, inside info, you name it. And with the Major League Baseball season in the home stretch, the action is heating up. So now's the time to place your bets and win big. Use the hashtag StoneColdBet, and we'll pick one of you folks as the winner of a $50 credit for betonline.ag live here on the podcast. But first, you got to sign up. Head over to betonline.ag and use promo code PODCAST1. That's PODCAST and the number 1 to receive a 50% sign-up bonus today. One more time, betonline.ag and use promo code PODCAST1 to start winning with your online sportsbook experts.
Football season is here, and no one covers football like PodcastOne Sportsnet. We've got you covered on a daily basis with Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen,
This might be just a walk in the park.
RJ Bell's Dream Preview, and Ross Tucker's Fantasy Feast podcast.
They're just creating more work for me at this point.
We also have Jim Harbaugh with Attack Each Day and Revenge of the Jocks with Martellus Bennett.
Football is the ultimate soap opera.
So download all of these shows and more each week on PodcastOneSports.com.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
All right, we're rolling down here at 317 Gimmick Street. AJ Kirsch, my old friend from Tough Enough. I don't even remember what season it was. It doesn't matter. It was about, 2011?
That was it.
Welcome back to the, welcome to my house, period. 316 Gimmick Street, 317 Gimmick Street. You've been in both. We're back at 317. AJ wanted to start off and say, hey, man, what are we going to talk about on the show? Do we need to kind of format this thing? And I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? It's the Steve Austin Show.
That was my first mistake.
We don't run with no format on the Steve Austin Show. And he dragged up a friend of his who's in the business. Name is Brian. Russell says, well, hello, Brian. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, man. You've been working about 7 years. What's your work name?
The Metalhead Maniac Sledge.
The Metalhead Maniac Sledge. It turns out he's like an 80s, 90s, 80s hairband guy, just like myself. I said, oh, man, we're going to have a good time today. But shit, you guys been on the road, man. AJ, you started off in the Oakland, Frisco area.
Yeah.
And you drove all the way down to where?
Tucson, Arizona. I had to pick up Sledge here in San Luis Obispo, which means I had to go west to the coast, go back east, and then to Tucson. So on Friday, we drove 1,015 miles, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
It was a 1,000-mile plus drive in one day, 16-something hours. And you know what? I kind of loved it.
It was good to get like that bro time. Like we haven't had that in like so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you guys, Brian, I know Sledge, you're still in the ring. AJ's doing a lot of MCing and stuff. Did you guys try to book any territories? Because normally that's what 2 guys or 3 guys or 4 guys do when in a car.
Well, yeah, we had a show out in Tucson called Cactus League Wrestling. It was their inaugural show.
I bet there's a bunch of pricks there. Come on, cheap pop. I got to give these guys.
Walked right into that one.
I got to give them credit for popping on that. So tell me about the show.
So went great. Probably 500 people, 500 plus. And for a first show, for any show, I feel like 500 plus for an indie show is pretty damn good. So it went great. And now, we're on our way back and just so happened to make a stop at 317 Gimmick Street.
Man, well, I appreciate you giving me a heads up. And we've been in contact ever since way back in the day. And I've stayed in contact with a couple of cats, probably you more than anybody, because you give me a call every now and then. And so you blew out your wheel a while back. And we talked about that briefly, but I guess there's some things you couldn't talk about, or what's the story with that?
Yes.
You let all the cats out of the bag?
Yeah, it's time to let the cats out of the bag. Well, I hit you up for advice because, you've seen your fair share of surgeries and then some. So I was like, my biggest issue was how do you keep from going crazy? And so it's nice to
You didn't turn into the booze, the drugs, the pills, all that shit.
Did not. No, okay. I turned to
you can.
Right, you can.
But you can get lost as well.
Right. Well, I made a point to stay busy. I made a point to stay active. I was literally in the gym the day after my surgery. And as we were talking about earlier today, if you take too much time out of the gym, you just start to go crazy. And I was not going to let that be what drove me crazy. But anyway, the way I blew out my knee, and I've had to tell everybody kind of like shreds of the truth and just bend it a little bit because I signed papers saying I couldn't really talk about it. So the big announcement is that with WWE 2K19 coming out in really just a couple weeks, there is a mode in the game called My Career where you have the option to create your custom superstar from the ground up, create their look, their entrance, pretty much virtually every conceivable detail you can create.
It's like a video of Frankenstein. You build the wrestler you want to be.
You pick the size of the bolts, you pick where they go, all that stuff.
Beautiful.
So when you create your character and you play through the My Career mode, which is the equivalent of the story mode, I landed the role of the voice of that character. So when WWE 2K19 comes out and people create their custom character, they play through My Career mode and they go through these cutscenes that kind of escalate the story. It's my voice voicing the character. It's my voice cutting the promos. It's my body doing the motion capture that you're watching in the cutscenes. So basically, I'm finally able to talk about the fact that I am the main protagonist in WWE 2K19. And it feels so good to finally be able to say that out loud. And
man, congratulations on that,
Thank
man.
you.
That's a sweet gig. I mean, that's a damn good gig. Now, how did you land it? Did they call you out of the blue because you did some great promo work on the show? I know you're a communications major, good voice. So how'd that happen?
So it's kind of a funny story. What happened was there were some regulars at Hoodslam that work at 2K, and Hoodslam's the Oakland, California promotion that I host, ring announce, and do the commentary at as this gimmick Brosif Joe Brody. And so they reached out to actually the Brosif Twitter, which is at BroJBrody. They shot out a DM and said, hey, we love Hoodslam. We know you were a worker for many years. You want to come in and do some motion capture for 2K19? And working on a video game has always been a bucket list item for me. Like, I grew up a video gamer. I was a video game fan before I was a wrestling fan. And so I've always wanted to do motion capture or voiceover or something in a video game. So it was not a hard sell for me to be like, hell yeah, I'll come on and do that. So they brought me up to their studio in Northern California that was out in the boonies. Their motion capture studio, WWE ring is set up. And they had me working with, I probably shouldn't say his name because I don't know if he wants me to talk about it, but anybody who watched WWE in the mid-2000s would instantly recognize him. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Speculate all you want. And so he and I just went through some simple stuff, some slams and some roll-ups, and they were there with their boom mic recording some audio, and we started getting to some more high-impact stuff. They wanted to get some pretty heavy bumps, so we started doing a superplex off the second rope. He took me. Did a superplex off the top rope. He took me. And then they wanted to do one more before we broke for lunch. They wanted to get a sit-out powerbomb. So I was like, cool. And the dude I was working with was just like, I just took you with those suplexes. How about you give me the powerbomb? I'm like, great. So do it a couple times. Goes great. They want to get one more shot. They just wanted to get it one more time.
Oh, no.
And, yeah. And the second I got his weight up on my shoulders, pop. In my left knee.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
I know. Here I am. I know.
Are you shitting me?
I shit you not. That's how I blew out my knee, was doing recording bumps for WWE 2K19. And of course, I roll out of the ring. I'm trying to no-sell it. It's not working. They can see, I can barely put any weight on that at all. And I'm like flipping a shit because I had a show that night. Like they were going to bring me back to do more motion capture. So I'm like crumbling. I'm just ruined. So I go to the hospital. They just bandage it up and send me on my way. I get an MRI, and they're like, torn ACL, torn meniscus, and a strained MCL. And I'm like,
and a broken heart.
And a broken heart, man.
Jiminy H. Cricket, that's brutal. And it's always that last shot. Hey,
right.
Let's get one more before we take a break for lunch.
Right, for safety.
And lunch is so damn important because you start going to these overages. If it's a movie set, I don't know how the video scene is, but it's, let's get one in. Let's get one more.
Right.
It's like, it's almost like at Seatown when you're running. Everybody kind of gets together, the houses, the shits. Hey, man, let's go out there, take it easy. We're out there. It's Hull, Ontario. I tell a show every podcast. I tell a story every podcast. Triple H is hitting the ropes, blows out his will. It's just stupid shit.
Right.
One more take.
So,
dude, what did they tell you? They say, hey, okay, because you couldn't work anymore, right?
Well, so I couldn't work anymore. What they did was, I was very fortunate in that before that shoot, I signed papers that technically made me an employee of 2K. So workers' comp covered everything. Covered the hospital visit, covered the surgery that I'd have to get later, covered my PT. So, if it had to happen, it could not have happened under any better circumstances. Right. But I'm just like you said, just heartbroken that I'm like, man, I was going to be in WWE 2K19 doing motion. I was finally going to be in this video game. I don't know if they're using any of that audio or not. So about a month goes by and I get an email from my agent because I'm doing acting and commercial work in the San Francisco Bay Area. And they're always looking to, get me whatever job they can find for me. So I get an email saying that they're casting for what I thought was a movie about this independent wrestler who's been bouncing up and down the Northeast independent scene, is finally going to get a look by WWE. And just, I was just like, I've got real life experience, years of it. Like I'd be amazed if anybody else that's like a contracted talent in the San Francisco Bay Area can bring the kind of experience that I can bring to this role. So, and keep in mind, this is on a blown ACL and a blown meniscus. So I go in, audition for the role. I feel good about it. But as you and I have discussed before, it doesn't matter how good you feel about an audition. You can feel like you knocked it out of the park and never hear from them again. You could shit the bed and they could call you and be like, congratulations, you got the role. So you really never know. So I try not to get too attached to the feeling I get when I walk out of an audition. And usually if you don't hear back in a day or two, maybe 3, you just kind of write it off and be like, all right, well, on to the next one. 2 weeks goes by and I get an email from somebody at 2K Games that says, we saw your audition. We loved it. This is not, in fact, a movie about independent wrestling. We're casting for the lead character in WWE 2K19. And I had to reread that email maybe 3 or 4 times before it actually sank in. But it wasn't like, oh, let's poor AJ, he blew out his knee. Let's give him a call and give him this role. I had to go out and audition for it. I had to earn it, which just made it that much sweeter when they said, you know what? You're going to be our character in 2K19.
So you had no idea it was 2K19.
No idea.
You thought it was, and all of a sudden it's like, well, you crushed it like you said you did. So they called you back, and it wasn't the old deal. Hey man, let's toss the kid a bone,
right?
Because he blew his shit
Poor
out.
kid. Here you go. Let's bring you back. It was like, no, I had to audition alongside.
Dude, that's awesome.
Who knows how many other actors, and I don't even know if the people watching the auditions even knew that I was in, a month earlier doing motion capture. So knowing that I earned it, knowing that it was my performance that got me the gig, and talk about crossing off a bucket list item, like being able to be in this featured of a role, not just in a video game, but in WWE 2K19, man, that was one of those moments where I was just kind of like, I'm doing it.
That's cool because, every now and then, like I'll tell people, I told you, you do something to keep yourself busy, or you ask me, how not to go crazy.
Right.
And I tried to give you the productive ways not to go crazy. Sure. But, when something bad happens, if you get hurt on the road or whatever, that's a dark cloud. But it can be a silver lining in the cloud. And the silver lining was when you heard about that, you got to go to the audition and you earn that spot.
Right.
It's like for the silver lining for many people is if you get hurt, think about what you're doing in the ring. Think about your promos. Think about your character. Watch everybody that's doing something. Who's moving the needle on WWE, whether it's Raw or SmackDown or whatever show you're watching. Who's getting the people? Who's not? What's working? What ain't? So man, it's time to, sometimes when you're in the ring and you're on the road 24/7, you're so far in the forest you can't see the trees. All of a sudden, you take yourself out and start watching as the fans are, but without considering the writing aspect. But watch what the hell's moving the needle. And so, man, a lot of people don't do their homework when they get hurt.
Right.
But there's always, man, And you know the deal about, working hurt. And Brian, you've been around 7 years. Sometimes you are going to work hurt. Sometimes you're going to have to take a couple pain pills. But if you are on the shelf, man, if you ain't constantly thinking about what the hell you're going to do when you get back, and you're missing the boat, and you're missing the prime opportunity.
Absolutely. And for you, I think you did some of your best work when you couldn't work as much as you wanted to. Like some of that stuff you did with Kurt Angle.
Well, and that was only done because I had 3 broke bones in my back. I think Kurt, I don't know if he blew his neck out at that point or what his ailment was, but, it was a thing of thinking, man, I can't get heat as a heel right now because I can't do anything. Right. So let me do something in the comedic vein. And I'm not into, well, I would say I'm not into comedy. I am. But, I'm into serious wrestling as it pertains to me.
Well, you're Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Now, have I done some comedy at some house shows? At some Gaga? Damn right I have. Test of Strength, the Yay Boo, all that shit that we've all done.
Right.
But, yeah, that was just done to create some type of entertainment because that locker room was so competitive back in the damn Attitude Era, as every damn locker room should be 24/7, 365. But that locker room was so competitive. If you weren't thinking of something, it's like, I don't think anybody was happy when I got hurt, but the fact that I did get hurt just creates that opportunity for someone to come into the lead. And from a ring standpoint, I couldn't do anything. And, but from just, skits or vignettes or whatever, yes, I could contribute. So that's how I just kept myself on the show, stayed engaging, stayed entertaining, pushed the envelope from, being that straightforward Stone Cold character that, started off as a heel as a ringmaster, turned into, a heel as Stone Cold, double turn with Bret at 13, monster baby run, and heel turn at 17. And so then all of a sudden you're trying to get heat, you get injured. So, hey, dude, it's either find something to do or get lost in the shuffling, piss on the shuffle. I want to be, front and center.
Right. Well, not just find something to do, but I think you showed that Stone Cold character in a way that had really never been seen before. And you were a ruthless heel at the time. I mean, those matches that you would go on to have with Kurt Angle, I mean, not to mark out, but I was at SummerSlam in 2001 in San Jose when you just bloodied him brutal.
Man, and I like that match. And I thought that was me as a heel, vicious, probably at my best. The character, or, I could have been more over, but Jim Ross is a very good friend of mine. I think Jim Ross said it best. He goes, Steve, you were just like, I don't want to put myself in the same category as John Wayne, but it goes, to a degree, he goes, you were just like John Wayne. Nobody wanted to see John Wayne turn heel.
Yeah.
So, when turning heel was my idea. I've said it many times before because Vince always wants to do something big at WrestleMania. We didn't have anything big that year. So I said, hey, man, because I love working heel.
Yeah.
Better than baby.
Yeah.
And I was a monster baby. I said, hey, man, let me turn heel. And so he was cool with it. He didn't really know Rock was going to go do a movie, I think, at the time. So anyway, I turned heel and, it was what it was. But I had a lot of fun working with Kurt in that vein, but
you were no less ruthless of a heel just because you showed that you were capable of comedy.
Oh no, yeah, exactly.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Is like you made the character more versatile. It wasn't your choice to be on the sidelines, but you still wanted to contribute. But not only did you contribute, you said, "Here's a new way to look at Stone Cold Steve Austin without taking away from your ruthlessness as a heel."
Yeah, well put. But let's get back to you because I want to ask you about you're a very well-spoken person, probably always have been.
Thank you.
You majored in communications. You won the promo stuff. Rock came down Tough Enough way back in the day. So I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. What I'm trying to get at is when you started doing the voiceover work for 2K19, like how many scripts and paperwork, how much stuff did you have to deliver, and how long was that process?
I think there are over 100 cutscenes in 2K19. Like they really put a lot of focus on the storyline this time. They want to take whoever's playing the game on a journey, not just because some WWE video games you would start like as a curtain jerker on the main roster. You might start in NXT or something. In 2K19, you start as a worker on the independent level. So you're coming up from pretty much a starting point in wrestling, which really hasn't been seen in a WWE game before. So for me, it wasn't hard to put myself back in those situations where I'm flyering a high school for a show, or, I get a call that says I'm going to be extra talent at WWE, and I'm, super nervous at the time because I've never done it before and I don't know who to look in the eye and whose hand to shake and all that stuff. So it's like a lot of people who are coming up in the business, or a lot of people who are familiar enough with wrestling that they know the progression of a career from the indies to the WWE are going to get a huge kick out of this because it follows that character from where a lot of independent wrestlers start to the very, very top. So for me doing the voiceovers, it was reliving moments of my own career and finding a way to put that into the game, which for me was just an absolute joy. It wasn't a lot of acting. It was me. I mean, it was acting, but it was just me going back to this time in my life when I was just young and green and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
These audio tracks or these video tracks?
So it's both. There's 1,000 lines of voiceover that had.
Okay, now what they tell you to do with your voice? They tell you to disguise it, just tell you to be you, hey, a little deeper, more bass. I mean, what kind of instruction or producing did they give?
They didn't give me a lot of direction. Okay. It is my voice, just as you're hearing it right now. And you know, there were a lot of dramatic moments. There's alliances, there's betrayals, there's hardships, there's successes. And so I was doing my absolute best as an actor to put that emotion behind the moments that you're going to see when you play this game.
It's the damnedest game I've ever heard of. Yeah, they keep spinning these things up and advancing them and improving them and just making them better and better and better. So it's just incredible.
Yeah, and it's
technology.
It's not just me either. Like there's voiceovers from, I think they told me like 26 WWE superstars. I mean, you know, they weren't there with me recording at the time, but I was doing scenes with Kurt Angle and Triple H and Matt Hardy and, you know, just Finn Balor and Braun Strowman and just a slew of WWE superstars. And, you know, they're not going to get some voice actor to pretend to be these superstars. They went out and got them. So for me, not just as somebody in the business, but as a fan, I mean, I'm always going to be a fan. So when this game comes out and I'm able to hear myself, you know, having interaction with these WWE superstars is going to be a lot of fun for me.
I want to ask you about the motion capture stuff.
Okay.
That's what they call it, right?
Motion capture, correct.
Now, out of all the video games that I've been a part of, and I was on the cover of, 2K16, 17, 14? I don't even remember. It's been a long time. I remember signing like 20,000 autographs, sitting at my table with my headphones on. But out of all the video games I've been a part of, I've never done motion capture. Someone has always done me.
Sure.
And I think they asked me to do it a couple of times, but I was like, man, I don't feel like getting hooked up with a bunch of electrodes. It's really interesting technology, and a lot of guys have done a really good job. And I'm sure there's been a couple of people who have been Stone Cold Steve Austin, but Stone Cold Steve Austin was never me.
Right.
So I probably moved better in a video game than I actually did really in the ring. But it's amazing technology. So do you put on a bodysuit with all the little gimmick reflectors? Or what are those things?
So you put on a bodysuit. It's super tight on you. It feels like a wetsuit. You are covered with these spherical motion trackers, I guess, that just track your every movement. So when you're in the studio and you're looking at the monitor, everything you're doing, this 3D video game model of you is doing. And that just, I can't tell you how many times, like between takes, we would just be dancing and just watching ourselves act a fool on the screen. And it's just insane to watch the process come together. But you, not only are you in this bodysuit, you've got this helmet on that puts a camera right in front of your face. It's like a face mask. It's like the kicker's face mask where they just have the single face mask bar. And there's a camera right there staring you in the face at the most unflattering angle you've ever seen your face. Like your face looks the way having a cold feels. Like it's just all right here underneath your nose. And just the fact that they're tracking your eye movement, you've got dots on your face, so they're tracking your facial expression. Obviously they're recording sound. They've got probably 100 different cameras in there, so they can capture footage from absolutely any angle they want and then manipulate it later. It's an overwhelming process. And you know who I actually just saw was doing some motion capture of his own was Paul Lazenby. He was doing Gears of War 5, and I saw pictures of him. He was able to talk about it on Twitter, and I saw that he had the dots all over his head. He was in the suit and everything, and I guess he's been part of Gears of War for a couple of years now. So it's cool to see. It's just cool. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that process is like now.
Always be as my stunt double from Canada when I used to do low-budget movies up there in Vancouver. Good-looking guy, looks just like me. Good-looking guy.
Well, hopefully he makes something of himself one day.
And he's doing a lot more acting now, and he was doing stunts way back in the day. And I'll never forget. Sometimes on those low-budget movie sets, man, you're shooting entire movie in either 16 or 20 days.
Yeah,
sometimes 18.
Relentless.
Yeah, and you don't really get a whole lot of chance to rehearse fight scenes because because you ain't got the money to or the days to rehearse those fight scenes.
Sure.
So a lot of times you're out there and you're fighting, the stunt guys would go through it or the fight choreographers would actually do the fight, and you're kind of like monkey see, monkey do. You do different segments of the fight and then continue, reposition cameras, get different coverages. So it was just a pain in the ass.
Well, let me ask you about that, because obviously you're used to having one take because it's live. You got to make it work. Mm-hmm. What was the adjustment like for you going from that sports entertainment, pro wrestling, whatever you want to call it, environment of having one shot to get it done?
AJ.
It's pro wrestling.
It's pro wrestling.
In this house at 317 Gimmick Street, damn it, it's pro wrestling.
It's pro wrestling. No, but going from a live environment, man, what I liked about being in the ring was, you get one shot. That's it.
Yeah.
And you're working off instant feedback. You do something to elicit a response. Based on that response, you proceed accordingly. And that's just how it works. So when you get that instant feedback, you put your foot on the gas pedal and then you get a response back. And then also, while you're doing it, it's instant gratification or,
hopefully
disappointment.
Right.
But you know what you have to do.
Instant reaction.
Do this, that, or whatever. You got to save your ass and move forward. And that's the sink or swim aspect of it. It's so cool. So, I like the feedback. I like to, be able to go out there and have, anywhere from a 15 to a, 35-minute match. Really on a pay-per-view, I think 18 minutes of in-ring action was kind of my sweet spot. But just in that time, all of a sudden the match is over. Whether you got something that was really good, really bad, a turd, a grand slam or something like that. Then you do all your takes. I remember when I was filming The Condemned in Australia, that was my first movie. Well, I think it was. No, I'd done The Longest Yard. I can't remember which came first. But anyway, I was out there trying to remember my lines. Yeah. And I'm sitting there in my bus eating my lunch, and director Scott Wiper comes up to me and goes, "Hey, man, I want to bring your wife in the movie," I can't remember her name, maybe you guys can go over the scene while you're eating lunch because it's going to be first up after lunch. Yeah. So I said, cool, man. So my wife comes in, my movie wife comes in. I'm eating chicken and rice, and all of a sudden, man, I'm going back and forth with her. I think it's some part of the movie where I say there's some money somewhere because I'm about to go away. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, man, she just starts crying. Both eyes just like waterworks. Yeah. And I'm sitting there watching this my wife in the movie crying in front of me while I'm eating chicken and rice. And we're just going over the scene. And I'm thinking, man, I'm way out of my league here. This woman is good. Yeah. So it was unbelievable. So it just, the thing about this, you can be as good as you are in the ring. All of a sudden you go to something else. And there were so many accomplished actors on that set. And I was the green guy. And it's very humbling because when you're really good at something, then you go to do something new and you're the green guy. It's like, man, it's kind of like going back to the system,
Exactly.
You're the fucking, you're JoJo again.
Right. You gotta relearn all over again.
You're looking down at your notes as I talk. Oh, what other kind of notes you got there?
Well, I got a list of things here that's new and improved for 2K19 that, I'm sure people are going to want to hear about. So one of the things about 2K19 is this $1 million challenge where you've got a chance to play 2K19 against AJ Styles, who's the cover star, the cover athlete of WWE
Man,
2K19.
I'm so glad that guy's on the cover of 2K19.
Yeah?
Man, yeah, because I've been watching his work forever. He's an awesome worker. He's one of the best workers in the world right now. And when he's down there in TNA, he's been everywhere, okay?
Sure,
so he's paid
around the world.
dues, but now he's in the big show, and he's been getting paid for as long as he's been there now, and he's been knocking it out of the park. Every time he steps foot in the ring to have a match, whether it's working, with all the top guys, he's crushing it. So I was, when they picked him to be the cover guy, I was super stoked because I know I was happy to be on it, and everybody gets that honor, but super stoked for AJ. Go ahead.
So anyway, there's this $1 million challenge that you get a chance, if you play, you get the chance to play AJ Styles, and if you beat him, you win $1 million, which sounds like a pretty sweet deal, but the way it's done is there's this new feature called Towers, and Towers is it challenges players to fight several superstars and legends in a row based around themes and conditions, like types of matches or, going through somebody's career, win conditions, things like that. So what you got to do is you've got to beat the AJ Styles $1 million challenge tower in 2K19, which is not easy right off the bat. You shoot a promo on AJ Styles to tell him how you're going to beat him in 2K19. You submit your video, and then the 4 best promos from people who have beaten that tower are going to get flown out to WrestleMania in New Jersey to battle 2K19 to get the right to face AJ. The winner of those 4, they will play AJ Styles in WWE 2K19 to win $1 million. So,
for a shoot.
It's a shoot $1 million. It is not a working $1 million.
Man, I need to start playing video games. I gotta be part of that payday. I think I might join up.
I mean, there's a ton of cool stuff surrounding the release of 2K19, but this $1 million challenge is I've never heard of anything like it before. And I've heard AJ Styles is also a hell of a gamer himself. And based on how hard this tower feature sounds, you're in for an uphill battle. But it's pretty exciting, the idea to play AJ Styles with $1 million on the line, no pressure or anything.
$1 million on the line is something because, man, back in the day when I was in USWA, we'd always, kind of throw, an extra bonus match at the crowd, try to build that house up. So it'd be like a battle royal, or it'd be like a $10,000 grab for the green. And what a $10,000 grab for the green is, in one of the turnbuckles, they'd put a pole over there that's probably, 10 foot high.
Okay.
And there'd be a bag of money up there that had $10,000 in it. It didn't have shit in it. It had some paper, but that paper wasn't money. Because if there'd have been a shoot $10,000 in there, there'd have been a full-blown MMA shoot in the ring. Because wasn't nobody making shit. I mean, the top guys are probably making a couple of hundred a week. I don't know what Dutch was making, but, times are pretty slim.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times during the week, and we're working Monday, Memphis, Tuesday, Louisville, Wednesday, Evansville, Thursday, Spot Show, Friday, Dallas Sportatorium, Saturday morning, Memphis TV Live, Saturday night, Nashville Fairgrounds, and then most times Sunday you were off. We could work that loop, and sometimes my payday was still in double digits. So, dude, when you're working, 5 to 7 times and you're still in double digits, you didn't even break the 100 mark?
Yeah.
Just like Dusty Rhodes said, God rest his soul, those are hard times. Those are the hard time blues.
Is that when you were eating tuna and potatoes?
Yeah, and I ran out of tuna, turned into potatoes, man. I was carved up. I remember I was in the dressing room and I was about to get into my gear, and my jeans were just saggy loose. And Matt Bourne, God rest his soul, looked over at me. You know how when you've been on the road and your shit just gets real loose because you ain't washed it in a long time? Mm-hmm. And Matt just looked at me and he goes, God dang, Steve, why don't you wash your jeans? I had just been in a laundromat and I put an extra quarter in there to dry the shit out of them so they were tight again. That's how much weight I lost. And we call it the Nutrisystem territory because everybody that went there lost weight. Now, you would learn how to work, though, because you was on the loop. It was a rotation, so you couldn't help but learn to work. But you all lost weight, and you all knew where the buffets were.
Yeah.
So you go there, eat all you could eat, and get out of Dodge. And that's when a lot of guys were hooking up with this, that, or whatever to, shack up with them or whatever.
Whatever you can do to save a few bucks.
Help get a brother by.
Yeah.
Just a reminder that while I'm here flapping my gums, there's millions of skilled workers out there, construction workers or utility repairmen who make their living as doers. They keep the lights on, the roads paved, the water flowing. They're the unsung heroes who keep the world moving. In fact, this podcast might not even exist or get to your ears without skilled workers to provide the electricity and bandwidth for your laptops and devices. For all the doers out there, Timberland Pro has the hypercharged work boot designed for optimal performance and comfort. These boots feature anti-fatigue technology to deliver underfoot comfort for long days on the job site, a composite safety toe powered by carbon shield technology, stable stride technology to help keep you steady on uneven surfaces, premium full-grain waterproof leather with a waterproof membrane, and breathable moisture-wicking lining and antimicrobial treatment for odor control. The hypercharged work boot is a must-have for the hard-working doers out there. There are talkers and there are doers. Timberland Pro, always do, never done. And for all you doers out there, here's one more thing for you to do. Go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes, you can be saving 15% or more on car insurance. That's right. Save hundreds of dollars on car insurance at geico.com. Extra money in your pocket, it may just be the most rewarding thing you do today.
Make sure to stick around after this podcast to get the latest headlines from the AP News Minute.
All right, it's time for you to discover your new sports podcast obsession with the Underdog Sports Network right here on Podcast One. Join Chris Horadell and friends each week as they cover the biggest stories in sports on The Underdog. Examine football news year-round with the Underdog Sports NFL Show. And learn more about former NBA players on Tales from the Association. Check out all the exciting shows on Underdog Sports Network every week on Podcast One or wherever you get your favorite podcast. If you love the show, tell your friends and leave a rating and review. Hey man, my producer Sean, by his own admission, is an anxious fellow when it comes to stocks and playing a market. He was feeling as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Well, thanks to my new sponsor, Robinhood, he's figuring out stocks and feeling like he's Gordon Gekko out there. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free. They strive to make financial services work for everyone, not just the wealthy. It's a non-intimidating way for stock market newcomers to invest for the first time with true confidence by keeping it simple. With its clear and intuitive design, it presents data in an easy-to-digest way. The Robinhood app features easy-to-understand charts and market data, the ability to place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone, and a web platform that lets you view stock collections, curated categories, and analyst ratings for every stock. And the best part is that Sean is learning how to invest as he builds his portfolio, discovering new stocks and tracking his favorites through his personalized news feed and custom notifications. For listeners of the Steve Austin Show, Robinhood has given listeners a free stock, such as Apple, Ford, or Sprint, to help build your portfolio. Sign up at steveaustinrobinhood.com or get your free stock and join my producer Sean as one of the many folks building their portfolios and learning how to invest with the Robinhood app. One more time, that's steveaustin.robinhood.com. Check it out.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
You're looking down at your favorite. Tell me some more about 2K19 with AJ Styles, one of my favorite WWE superstars on the cover.
So some fun stuff, some general improvements. If you took a look at the gameplay trailer that just dropped, you'll notice that there's a big head mode, which I think is a throwback to some games back when I was growing up, like NBA Jam, where it was this classic game on Super Nintendo and Genesis and in the arcade where just everybody's heads were like 5 times the size of their normal head. And there was a clip there, I think it was Xavier Woods was doing a spot off the top rope and just had this huge head. It was the first time anybody had seen that. So that's going to be fun.
Xavier Woods is supposed to be a big-time gamer.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's got a YouTube show on video games called Up, Up, Down, Down, I think, and carved out, I think, a hell of an audience for himself doing it, too. He's done it the last couple of years. And
I think him and Kenny Omega got a little thing going on. I think Kenny's really into video games as well. They kind of compete a little bit.
Yeah. So I think it's fun that they used him, you know, an avid, outspoken gamer, to just kind of reveal that they got this big head mode. I
know a lot of guys in the business got the big head. You see a guy from a territory come in. Hell, we've been there a couple of years, paying the dues, going up and down the damn road, working our ass off. Here comes a new cat, been on TV for about 2 months. All of a sudden, his head can't fit the locker room door. It's like, oh, okay.
So we decided to bring some more authenticity in that way to 2K19.
Dude, I mean, you ever come to Jesus meeting with a guy real quick, just acting up at the rental car place, this, that, or whatever, he got the big head. Like,
right.
Dude, when you get in the wrestling business, if you want to get the big head treatment, check out 2K19. But when you're officially in the business, never get the big head.
Stay away from it as much as you can.
You got to protect your spot. There's a lot at stake. There's a lot on the line. It's a heavy duty responsibility to be on the card to begin with or be a part of the roster, but don't ever get the big head.
Yeah.
Because you will have a come to Jesus meeting with someone and be brought back down to earth.
Exactly.
Continue on, young man.
Thank you, sir. There's 15,000 commentary tracks in this game.
Holy shit.
15.
Who did that?
Freaking thousand. Well, I imagine it was probably Michael Cole, Corey Graves, Byron Saxton. I hope to hear Mauro Ranallo in the game. I think he's the best commentator in WWE right now. I love listening to Mauro. So I don't have any.
But stop right there. That right when you think, just when you just talking about motion capture to all the WWE superstars, everybody, or maybe a manager or whatever they call them these days, here or there or whatever, all the motion capture stuff, the voiceover stuff, and then all the tracks that you just said, the stuff that you did.
Yeah.
I mean, and from there's no telling how many people are involved from just participation as far as audio video from a talent side. But then just the production side, and putting all this science together, dude, it costs. I can only imagine how many millions and millions and millions of dollars it takes to produce a game like this.
Right. I mean, the project in itself is an enormous undertaking, and just the idea that they crank out a new one every year. I mean, obviously it's been an annual thing for a number of years at this point. And, 2K has also got the NBA franchise to worry about. So these guys, and not just that, but they've got, a slew of other franchises that are some of the biggest names in all of video games. And so they're cranking out title after title, and I just don't know how they find the time, how they have the energy to just put out these top-notch video games virtually nonstop year-round. Because as soon as they're done with one, they're probably already thinking about the next one after the next one.
Well, see, that's what I wonder, how far out they actually are thinking. Because back in the day when I first came into WWF, I mean, Vince liked to book damn near about a year out.
Yeah.
Sometimes a year and a half. I mean, straight up on a big ass, he had this booking, tablet. Mm-hmm. And man, that's how far out he was thinking. And, if everybody stayed around, and this is way back in the day.
Sure.
So, I mean, in today's world, it'd be kind of different. The way things move so fast with social media and hurry up, and put 20 pounds of stuff in a 10-pound bag has changed. But that's how I did things back in the day. But along those lines, with everything we're talking about, from in-ring talent to all the stuff we just mentioned, yeah. Okay, how do we, one up this thing next go round?
Right.
Because it's not just one thing that they're looking to do better. It's the whole damn, the whole video game.
Absolutely.
And so, like, the thing you just started to tell me about, what, Create a Pro, or what's it called? The Be a Superstar thing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you create your...
It's the first time, right?
It's called... Well, no, my player's been around for a long time. You've been able to kind of customize your character for...
But there's more
years
features.
Now. But you can customize your entrance, your attire, your move set. I mean, there's never been more detail that you can customize in 2K19. And that's part of the challenge, like you're talking about. They've got to find ways to outdo themselves every year. Kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Like if you're on the shelf, you got to find a way to keep contributing. The team at 2K has to find a way to make 2K20 even better than 2K19. And I guarantee you they're already thinking about 2K20, and 19 doesn't hit the stores until you got the deluxe edition on Friday, October the 5th, and then you got the regular edition on Tuesday, October the 9th.
Dude, how old are you?
35.
How long have we known each other now? 9 or 10 years?
2011, so 7 years, yeah.
When did you start playing video games?
Man, probably... I was 10 years old, so maybe 1993. I got a Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo was the first system. F-Zero was the first game. It was a futuristic racing game. And, looking back now, it looks like Legos at this point. But, I grew up a gamer. I still play video games. I still love video games. Legend of Zelda is my favorite franchise right now. And if you're listening to this and you haven't played Breath of the Wild, what is wrong with you? Stop what you're doing right now.
What is Legends of Zelda? Obviously, I've heard it a million times.
Yeah.
I'm more...
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Legend of Zelda, it's a kind of like a fantasy fairy tale type of world. It's like Lord of the Rings, I guess, where it's like you've got a character who's resembles an elf. He's trying to save a princess. He's got a sword. He's got bows and arrows. He runs.
Is it like a macho elf, or is it like an elf?
It's somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, because like the Santa Claus elves ain't the most macho character.
He's like Legolas from Lord of the Rings. Okay. He's a badass.
Okay,
he's like the silent hero.
You got to put this into perspective, man.
Right? No, he's not like a Santa Claus. He's not like a little helper elf or something. Like he gets it done. He gets it done. But yeah, the newest one just came out like maybe a year and a half ago, and it was just everything I wanted from a Zelda game. I loved it. It's one of the few franchises I continue to follow. So
what's the other one? Is it Warcraft or
Warcraft is a computer game. It's not on actual video game systems.
Well, what's the one? What's another like
Call of Duty is a popular one. Yeah.
Well, what about the Grand Theft Auto?
Grand Theft Auto,
is that still popular?
Yep. I don't know if there's another one coming. I've stopped playing that series a while back.
Why?
I just I'm too busy. I got too much to do to play a lot.
Speaking of Grand Theft Auto, when y'all came up and AJ's on a road trip, I'm gonna get back his road trip here in a minute with him and Sledge, and I said, "Hey man, parking's all backed up over here because I live a mile from the beach. We're right there in Marina Del Rey / Venice. Everybody wants to come down here, go to the beach. So man, it's great. It's in the summer." But hell, it just makes things hectic for me. So anyway, I got 317 Gimmick Street. I got 316 Gimmick Street next door. And I said, hey, man, just park right in front of my driveway. Normally that's a tow-away zone, but since it's all jacked up, just park there because you're coming to see me.
Yeah.
And I opened my gate up for him, and there in the driveway, underneath a custom car cover, is a 2003 Metallic P Ford Focus. And if I take that cover all the way off, you'll find a club on that subitch. Because ain't nobody going to come down here to Marina Del Rey, 317 Gimmick Street, and steal my 2003 Ford Focus. I got a new motor mount, new brakes on all four corners. I'm upside down in it. I bought it from my mother-in-law to help a sister out, and now I'm stuck with it. And I like to run a few errands with it here and there, keep battery charged up, take my dog.
Four-door.
Right.
Four-door.
You damn right.
Sure I can't talk you into selling it?
No, man. I mean, you'd have to
You
work
saw
on
that
for
hunk
a
of junk
while.
I drove up in. I don't know.
How many miles you got on that?
Coming up on 200,000.
Oh, man. See, but those things will run forever.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a Honda. It's a hybrid. I get great mileage. It's great for road trips like this.
I was in Nevada a couple of months ago, and I got my 2003 Chevy pickup. It's in Nevada right now. It was set out on the curb. And you don't really drive a pickup too much in L.A. just because it's extended cab, long bed, and it's just hard to park them.
Sure.
So anyway, drive SUV around. And sure enough, I was sitting there drinking whiskey with my brother-in-law. We just got finished hunting, and there was some ruckus out there. And somebody tried to steal my damn pickup truck. And they got inside with one of those gimmick bars, Slim Jim off the window.
Yeah.
Got in there, jacked something in the ignition. And so they just totally screwed it up, but they didn't get my truck. And I'll just say that my wife went out there, got everything out of the glove compartment, didn't know if they were going to come back, center console. And I had an extra set of keys sitting in the center console.
Oh, my God.
They were there specifically to steal the car, not go through my shit. They wanted the truck. Yeah. And so had they just opened up that center console, they would have.
The keys would have been right there. No.
You know, it's like in that movie, you watch the movie, all of a sudden, dude starts rattling around, looking around, and he just says, oh, the sun visor.
yeah.
All of a sudden, a set of keys dropped out. No, I ain't that stupid. I put mine in the center console.
Oh, you dodged a bullet, though, man.
It cost me like $2,500 because I just got liability insurance because it was sitting in Texas. I wasn't driving it. So I got really hammered on that deal. And you fool me once, shame on me. You fool me twice, well, it ain't going to happen. That's why I got that something that's locked up.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And undercover.
Yeah.
You don't want somebody driving by and being like, ooh, you know
Look at
what?
that
That would
thing.
look nice in my car.
Well, like sometimes when you're going down the road and you see a car cover over a car and it's like, man, because I'm a car fanatic.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, man, what is that?
Yeah.
Like kind of see one of the wheels. Oh, it's a Krager Super Sport. What is it? It's like an old Camaro. Is it like a Corvette? Is it a Mustang? I wonder what it is.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, if you come by my crib, it's a Ford Focus. Don't fuck with it. It's paid for. I'm still upside down on it, but it ain't for sale.
You don't have any keys in the center console?
No, there's a little bitty center console in it too. Yeah, and if I put my arm on it too hard, it'll probably break off.
Yeah.
The beauty about that is now they can jump in my dogs can jump in my Yukon because they're still young. But when I had Hershey, my chocolate lab, we had to put her down, and Shona, our black lab, we had to put down a few years ago. When we had to take them to the vet, that Ford Focus is so low to the ground. I just pick them up about 3 inches off the ground, and they're inside the car.
Yeah.
So anyway, enough about my car stuff. But I had to segue off the video game stuff
Sure,
for just a split hair of a second. See what I did there, people? A split hair of a second. What else you want to tell us about 2K19?
I'm just...
Dude, they got the right guy to promote this game. You're talking about October 5. Got all the dates memorized. You got all the particulars.
I mean, you see the notes that they sent me. They sent me pages and pages
Did you
of notes.
study these while Brian was driving down the road? Or did you drive the whole way?
I drove most of the way. Most of the way I drove. I prefer to drive. I like driving. What? Most of the way I drove. You drove
Brian,
some of the
Brian,
way. We left the show last night.
Yeah, last night I was super tired.
You were out for like 4 hours.
Yeah, I was done.
You finished up, but I didn't.
I was done. I finished it up. But on the way there,
I was
When
out
you
for
picked
a
me
little
up,
bit.
I drove
for a little while.
I drove a little
Dude, you
bit.
grew up in San Luis Obispo?
No, I grew up in a small town called Lompoc, about an hour away from San Luis.
I remember
Obispo.
Lompoc.
Yeah, Lompoc. Yeah.
Okay, because it was Lompoc.
Yeah, Lompoc.
I always mispronounce everybody's town until I get to eat with them.
Yeah.
See if I pronounce it right, nobody will send me an email. But when I mess shit up,
Yeah.
like I always say Illinois. I know it's Illinois. People was emailing me the other day about another town. I said, you don't put the S on it. I said, yeah, I put the S on it. And they sent me an email. So I'm ribbing you. So San Luis Obispo is Lompoc. Lompoc. So I was thinking, oh man, when you said San Luis Obispo, I started thinking money. Isn't that like a high roller area?
No, it is a very high roller area, but
Right.
I am not a high roller in any way, shape, and form. I squeeze by. Squeeze by. I'm a father to, I live on the road. This is what I love to do.
Full-time wrestler, though, making his living on the
How many
indies.
days are you on the road?
I'm usually on the road probably about 4, give or take. I'm usually on the road on the weekends, and I'm trying to stay home during the week. But for my daughter's sake, yeah.
What made you want to be a pro wrestler?
I've always been a big fan of it, and of my dad.
Who trained you?
I was trained originally by Billy Blade at Vendetta Pro Wrestling Academy, and then also with the Ballard brothers, who actually had a hand in training John Cena. So,
How long the Ballard brothers been around?
forever.
They've been around forever.
Yeah, and I've also been mentored by Simbodi.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but I thought he was down in Tennessee.
Simbodi?
Yeah.
No, he's in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
he's in Vegas.
I think I guess he had a period of time when he was down there in the territory, so
Right.
I assumed that he was from there. But you're right. I do recollect that he was in Vegas.
Yeah, so I've actually been married to, I don't want to say married to him, but wrestled him a lot, this last
Dude,
like,
it's
year
cool
or
when you
so.
married to him.
Yeah, I've wrestled him a lot this last, couple of years, and he's definitely helped me go through my career.
Well, let me tell you a story real quick.
Okay.
When I was in Dallas, Texas, I was playing football. I got through playing football, working on a freight dock, and a wrestling commercial came on for Gentleman Chris Adams Wrestling School. Now he's going to put on a seminar. So you got to go down and listen to the seminar and hear what's up, right? This is the sales pitch. This is your door. This is your foot in the door. So it costs $45 to get in. And I think the $45 went into the total amount. So I paid him $45, listened to the whole spiel, and then decided to sign up. The price was $1,500. This was back in 1989, the middle of 1989. I was a 90 Rookie of the Year thanks to a program with him. So it turns out I would just pay him whenever I got any money. I didn't have no money. So I don't remember what I actually paid. I think I might have paid him about $1,000 in total. And that's what it cost me to learn. And, like back in the day, learning the instruction, sure, I mean, dude, $1,000 is a lot of money today. $1,500 is a shitload of money back in '89, especially when you ain't got no money. But your real learning, comes after you get on the road and go through the paces. So, what did the school charge?
Honestly,
Is it one to deal like mine?
he kind of actually, yeah. I actually, I contacted them because I was doing promotions for a nightclub, and I asked them to do a show there, and for that, they came up to me and they're like, how is the biggest guy here promoting a show and you're not in the ring? And I've always wanted to be a professional wrestler. The door opened one time for me and I didn't go through it because my girlfriend at the time laughed at me. She's like, you want to do what? I was like, I want to be a professional wrestler. And she laughed at me. She literally laughed in my face. She's like, you'll never make any money of that. What are you talking about? Ha, I'm sitting here with Austin, And so the door closed. I went through the MMA route. I have an amateur wrestling background. I went through the MMA route. And then the door opened again. And I decided, if the door opens twice, let's do it. I only trained for a couple months. I had my first match. Started getting out there. Kind of went through some hardships on the road, which obviously probably we'll talk about after, a little bit. Here I am now, man. It's been an awesome journey, but it's been a very hilly journey.
Hey, man, did you was an amateur wrestler? Did you do that in high school?
Yeah, I wrestled freestyle before high school, and I wrestled collegiate in high school.
Where? At collegiate?
At Cabrillo High School in Lompoc.
But where in college?
Oh, I didn't wrestle in college.
Oh, okay.
No.
But here's the thing: you were an amateur wrestler. When you got into the pro style, did it mess with your head? Because a lot of guys that get into the amateur wrestling or come from the boxing background, they have a hard time with it, but just because I don't know if it's ego or
changing from the shoot style into more of the work.
Yeah, but also I mean it's just completely different,
right?
Especially when you're not calling high spots when you roll around on the mat.
Absolutely.
And just a lot of the shooters had a hard time making the adjustment because, man, they think, hey, man, I'm getting guzzled here. I don't know. It's just a lot of guys that try to get in the business, it doesn't work for them. Well, like a guy like Kurt Angle, I've never seen you work, but like a guy like Kurt Angle, man, did all that background help you? Because it definitely helped him.
I think so. Absolutely. Like I said, I always grew up as a fan. I always kind of knew, that I've always wanted to do this. So going into it, I already kind of had the mindset of like what it was. So it definitely helped me, in that aspect of it. So.
You working heel or baby?
I'll work either one. It doesn't.
What do you like? Everybody's got a favorite. Come on, man.
I like to be when I just got done wrestling in England. I did a month over there.
That had to be awesome.
Yeah, what was that?
That had to be awesome.
Oh, it was awesome. I actually worked for Paige's dad. The Knight family. Yeah, the WAW family. So I was over there for a month working with them. And I worked heel because I was a bad American, But on Saturday, I'm working baby against Eli Drake. So, it's either one. I like popping the crowd. I live for the pops. Whether they're booing me or whether they're cheering me. I live for the pops, So
how you doing out there in the indie scene, man? It's exploding out here.
I'm doing okay. Now since I got over my addiction problem, I'm doing a lot better. I'm 4 years clean, which is awesome. So,
hey man, I want to talk to you about that, but let's cover that here on another podcast.
I would love to.
Okay, AJ, we got a little segue there, but
that's quite all right.
Brian been over here. Hey, everybody got to get the shit in.
Okay. He's been my road dog for this trip too, and I think it's going to be.
Where'd you guys meet?
Man, just APW. We were
just talking about this
shortly after Tough Enough.
Yeah, shortly after Tough Enough. I watched you guys on Tough Enough. And I was greener than, can I say goose shit?
Yep.
Yeah, greener than goose shit.
You just did.
Yeah, all right, there it is.
At some point, everybody gets in the business. It's greener than goose shit.
Greener than goose shit. I was walking into the APW garage. He was walking out. They were still airing on TV as he was walking out. And I go, holy shit, that's AJ Kirsch. Hey, what's up, bro?
Did he have a big head?
No, not at all. Not at all. He's been like a mentor to me. Honestly, for these last 7 years. He's been one of the guys who has seen me at my lowest point and has seen me at now, I would say, possibly kind of my highest point, but it could go higher. Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. And who's always been there. We talk once a week, not at least via text. He helped me with, after I was battling with my addiction, which we'll get to, I gained a lot of weight and I wasn't wrestling as much and nobody wanted to deal with me because I was, I had a really messed up head, and he helped me get through that and helped me get back on track and get my body to where it is now and seen me progress and seen my work. So I owe a lot to AJ.
Thanks, motivational, man. AJ.
Thank you.
Good Samaritan, you. You do have a heart.
It's in there somewhere. My heart's attached to your car right there.
No, you can't have it. Hey, man, I want to ask you something. So you injured your leg filming 2K19.
Yep.
You kayfabe me on that.
I had to kayfabe everybody on that.
No, props. I mean, it is what it is. You honored your word. So, but anyway, my point is, you got hurt filming 2K19. We met at Tough Enough. You did really well. You've been doing your stuff with Hoodslam.
Yes, sir.
So are you done in ring? Are you MCing and hosting now? I know you're doing a lot of acting and stuff like that. So I know you did, naked dating?
Dating naked.
That's
naked.
Right. I got the words turned around.
It's quite all right.
So you did that. So where's the future lie for you? More work in the ring or outside the ring?
I never say never as far as wrestling. I want to get my knee back to 100% if possible before I even think about that. But it really was Tough Enough that helped me realize that my contributions are more valuable behind a microphone than in the ring. And my career has just blossomed in a way that I could not have ever anticipated since that realization. And also I owe a lot of that to Hoodslam, because when I started hosting, ring announcing, and doing commentary there, nobody in that crowd cared that I was on Tough Enough. They were not a wrestling crowd. And because they weren't a wrestling crowd, I had the freedom to finally be a character that wasn't just AJ Kirsch. So when I created Broseph Joe Brody and kept working Hoodslam, took to it really well. And so that's when I started steering my focus more towards the hosting, the ring announcing, the commentary, and that. And at the time, shortly after Tough Enough, I wanted to make myself a more versatile entertainer to make myself a hotter commodity to WWE, because if you're on Tough Enough, you're on the radar. So I wanted to show them that regardless of what position they put me in, I could deliver. So that's why I started seeking out more acting gigs, commercial gigs, television, movies, voiceovers, reality TV. I did as much of that as I could. And that in itself has turned into a career that has taken me places I never thought I'd go. I was interviewed by Larry King in 2013. There was Dating Naked in 2014. There was the Rock the Promo competition in 2016, which was The Rock's. It launched his YouTube channel, and but it was like that was a wrestling project. It was a wrestling promo project. It's still always kind of been wrestling for me, and even though it's taken me to places that I never thought I'd go, it's led me to projects and opportunities that I thought were far beyond my grasp. Kind of getting this role with 2K19, not necessarily as a former WWE Tough Enough contestant or anything, related to wrestling. It was because of my performance. I just kind of feel like that's a cool little, I don't want to say full circle because I'm not done, but it was a cool little nod just to kind of say that your efforts in other avenues of entertainment has brought you back to this, not just wrestling related project, but this WWE project.
Man, when you start dropping those dates, it's like, God dang, man. Now, this is kind of semi-recent, but when you start dropping those dates, it's like, God dang, time flies by.
Blink of an eye, man.
A blink of an eye.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking off when we weren't rolling. I was saying that last time you and I saw each other was Cauliflower Alley 2012. That was 6 years ago.
Yeah, it takes us a second to do the math on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because 18 minus 12 is hard. As you're talking, my eyes are going back and forth because these kids are riding those damn birds up and down my sidewalk.
Oh, man.
I'm worried about somebody backing out a driveway and either clipping one of them or getting T-boned by one of them, and things are just bothering the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I know those summits are popular in the Bay Area, aren't they? Or did they put the ban on them?
I think there's a ban on them in San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's right.
San Fran's got a lot of shit that's jacked everybody,
Yeah.
but they banned the birds.
Right. And then I don't know what the deal is in Oakland, but people leave them everywhere. They don't care. It's just they're reckless. So I'm not a big fan of them.
Let's bring it home on 2K19.
Okay, so if you pre-order the deluxe edition, you get it 4 days early. You get it on Friday, October the 5th. You get Rey Mysterio and Ronda Rousey as playable characters.
Awesome.
Yeah. There's also the Ric Flair edition.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. That's right. And you get a ton of amazing extras if you get the Ric Flair Woo edition. Just pieces of his career, his history. It's pretty spectacular, the grab bag of goodies that you get if you get the Woo edition. The deluxe includes Rey Mysterio, Ronda Rousey, the season pass. You get special versions of Flair, Steamboat, Undertaker, Dusty Rhodes, and Roddy Piper with the Woo edition, and you get a vintage Starrcade arena. So there's a whole lot of in-game goodies and goodies that you get with that package of the Woo edition, including a replica Hall of Fame ring, a Flair Funko Pop figure, an actual piece of Ric Flair ring-worn robe, and a WWE Supercard trading cards. So a lot to get with that Woo edition. But all that's really cool. But for me personally, a couple of the highlights from 2K was there's a fictitious indie promotion where your character starts. It's called BCW. And at some point, there's a BCW handshake that me and one of the other characters execute. And the promotion where I trained was PCW, Pro Championship Wrestling, out of Oroville, California. I was trained by Zach Reeb, Mr. Primetime, who's still training people, by the way. So if you're looking for a good wrestling school, check out Pro Championship Wrestling in Oroville, California. And he had a PCW handshake. So when I stepped on set that day, they really didn't have an idea what the handshake was going to look like. So I was like, hey, how about this handshake? And it's not particularly spectacular or elaborate or anything, but it's the PCW handshake. So being able to kind of include that little nod to my trainer in the game was really special for me. Finally, just to wrap up my personal highlights, because of the Bros of Joe Brody character at Hoodslam, I've definitely thrown in a bro in there or two, which anybody being around wrestlers know that they throw that around all the time. So keep an eye out for a couple bros in there, bro.
Bro 316 says, I just brothered your ass. all that stuff that they included, that whole kit and caboodle grab bag with all the Flair stuff. And Flair's my favorite pro wrestler of all time. He is the greatest of all time. It's undisputed because I said so. I didn't hear you say one single thing about some Stone Cold Steve Austin shit in there. I am highly disappointed. I'm just kidding. WWE 2K19, the baddest ass wrestling video game, sports entertainment wrestling video game, whatever the hell you want to call it. Check it out, and that's the bottom line. Good talk with my old friend AJ Kirsch and Brian. Brian, your work name again?
The Metalhead Maniac Sledge.
Where can people on social media find you?
Sledge 805.
AJ, where can people on social media find you?
At AJ Kirsch on all things social media, and also at Bro J Brody on all things social media. And since this is dropping on Thursday the 20th, can I plug a couple shows real quick?
Yep.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Well, if you're listening to this the day it comes...
I don't know if it's going to drop on Thursday the 20th. Probably before the 20th. It'll be on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Well, then...
You can plug anything you want.
Great. I appreciate it. Then if you're listening to this on Tuesday, on Thursday the 20th, I'm going to be doing commentary at Stoner U, which is a wrestling school in Oakland, California, at the birthplace of Hoodslam. I will be there as Broseph Joe Brody. And actually, those are the guys. Did you watch Greatest Royal Rumble a couple months ago out of Saudi Arabia?
Missed it.
Okay. Well, there was a kid on there who cut, a Saudi kid who cut an amazing promo, who is now signed by WWE by the name of, his indie name was Manny Faberino. He's a product of Dustin and Derek, the trainers at Stoner U. So if you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and you're looking for a good wrestling school, then hit up Dustin and Derek at Stoner U, because they're sending guys to the show. I'll be doing commentary there. Friday the 21st, I'll be at All Pro Wrestling in Daly City, hosting and ring announcing. Sledge, you've got pretty kick-ass match coming up on Saturday, do you know?
Saturday, I'll be in Salinas, California, wrestling former Impact World Champion Eli Drake.
Big time wrestling, right?
Big time wrestling, yep, BTW. Cool. And then on Sunday, we have a show together.
That's right. We'll be at, this will be right up your alley,
right
actually.
Down your alley.
Bumps and Bruises. It's BREWSES. It's a pro wrestling show at a brewery in downtown LA, Boomtown Brewery. You can get tickets for that on eventbrite.com. I'll be hosting as Broseph Joe Brody. And then, just looking off into the horizon, man. Friday, October the 5th, not only is that the day the deluxe edition of WWE 2K comes out, but it's the biggest Hoodslam of the fall. FTF 9 at the Oakland Metro Opera House. You can get your tickets right now on eventbrite.com by searching Hoodslam. Don't bring your effing kids.
Telling you guys to go home. Tell Wade Keller to go home, plug your shit. It's 10 minutes later. How
are we on time? Are we over?
Wade's cool. I always like talking to Wade. No, it was good talking with you guys.
Likewise. Thank you for having us.
Recently on The Producer's Guide.
Why are they letting you make these movies?
Check out Todd Garner's interviews with Rob Riggle.
Simplify is the Marine Corps motto. Semper Gumby should be the producer. Always flexible.
Marlon Wayans.
My dad's not funny. He's really annoying. My mom curses him out, and that's where we found out comedy.
And Eli Roth.
I liked 16 Candles and Ferris Bueller, but I was waiting for the nudity. I hated those movies. I thought it was the death of cinema.
The Producer's Guide with Todd Garner. Every Thursday on PodcastOne and Apple Podcasts. Remember to rate and review.
All right, everybody, give me the go-home cue. So I'm going to wrap up this podcast and ride off in the sunset. But before I do that, I want to thank my guest, AJ Kirsch, and his buddy, Sledge. Sledge will be on the podcast in 2 Thursdays from now, and I appreciate them coming by and shooting the breeze with me. ProWrestlingTees.com/Steve Austin. They got all my shirts, but I ain't come out with nothing new. Trying to come up with some Nevada designs. Stay tuned. And here's one for you. El Segundo Brewing Company just got finished brewing a brand new batch of Broken Skull IPA. That stuff is hard to get a hold of because can't make enough of it. That's how much in demand it is. It is the best IPA in the United States of America, and that's the bottom line. Stop by the brewery, 140 Main Street in El Segundo, if you're in L.A. doing business. You can also find it at Whole Foods and Total Wines in SoCal. If you ain't in SoCal, you're shit out of luck. And if you're looking for a badass pocket knife, which I use all the time out here at the BSR 2.0, here's 2 for you. Cold Steel Broken Skull Knife. Cold Steel Working Man's Knife. 2 different price points, 2 badass knives. Get them both at my new Amazon store. Amazon got the best price on both knives. Just go to Amazon.com/shop/Steve Austin. And I want to say one more thank you to all the fine sponsors of the Steve Austin Show, especially BetOnline.ag, Timberland Pro, Geico, and Robinhood. That's how I'm able to do this podcast for you twice a week for free. Please support them because they support us. If you need more info on my sponsors, check out the show description to this episode for details. Folks, I am on social media, Twitter and Instagram, at Steve Austin BSR. Folks, until next time, my name is Steve Austin, and I will catch your ass down the road.
This has been a Podcast One production. Download new episodes of The Steve Austin Show every Tuesday at PodcastOne.com. That's PodcastOne.com.